It's been a most wonderful growing season here in Norfolk for 2023, and you guys, you've all seen the best of it because we put it out there on YouTube. But there are some things that you haven't seen that myself and Mrs. W found amongst the footage. They're some of the funniest things that have happened in the garden. Really very windy, very cold day outside, and this is the place where Poppy likes to be. Talking of Poppy and our other animals, you often see them milling about. Well, you see the cats milling about. They don't have too much to do, they just often walk behind me, sometimes in front, mostly behind. Now, talking of Poppy, she does like to get in on the act. And I think sometimes when I say hello, she thinks I'm talking to her. And not you guys out there in YouTube land. So we often get a false start there. The other thing is, we're not too sure which variety she is, but I do sometimes think she's got a bit of the greyhound in her. Because every so often, she gets up and absolutely tears around one of our 4 plots at 150 miles an hour, just like a greyhound.
You wouldn't think it looking at her there. It looks like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. But I do believe she has a little bit of Tasmanian devil in her too.
Hello. Hello. Hello, Poppy. Hello. Right, what are we going to put in next? Oh dear, we have got rather excited.
Crazy dog.
Now, it's a well-known fact within this household. Don't trust Barry with a hammer or a saw. DIY simply is not my forte. I have to ask many questions, of which even when Mrs. W answers me, I don't understand. But occasionally, just occasionally, I get the chance to get my own back. And as you'll see in this next set of clips, it rather descends to slapstick sometimes. Kind of reminds me of Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
So these have to be tipped up the other way, don't they?
Hang on, let's just do what we did before. So put this one over top of this one.
You can probably see that we've left 2 here without any nuts and bolts. That's because that's where the spaces are going to go, because we're actually going to be, or we're actually building, the 32-inch tall raised bed.
Now the strengthening bars, not the spacers. Green side that way. Nope, that's got to be that way because we're overlapping in this direction. Before we fill this, I'd have loved to have the kids here so we could have hidden it.
You are?
Before we filmed this, I would have loved to have had the grandkids here so we could have hidden in it. I don't know how you're going to get out of this. You're probably going to have a step ladder or something. I love it.
What makes you think it's going to be me getting out of it? Now that it's enclosed, and Mrs. W can no longer get out.
I'm stuck.
Now, if you happen to be like Mrs. W, one of the reasons you are going to need two people is that you won't actually be able to get out unless someone lifts it up for you. Can you?
No. No, I definitely can't. My little legs. Right, hang on. I'm going to need to crawl out. If I can.
There we go.
Thank you. Oh, have we done that wrong? Oh no, please tell me we haven't done that wrong.
What have we done now?
Let me look at that end. Have we done that end wrong? No, that end is right. We've done that end wrong. It's okay. We'll do it in a minute.
Oh,
But
we're done.
We've stepped it the wrong way.
And I got to undo all those again?
Yeah.
Now, we try to do all we can to encourage as many pollinators into our garden. And they do an amazing job. They really do. Without them, we wouldn't get half the fruit and veg that we do manage to grow. But something that you're probably not aware of is that I really don't like wasps. I had this phobia about wasps. Often mistaking bees for wasps. Indeed, I only need to hear a bzzz, and I can often be seen running to the top of the garden to escape those little black and yellow insects. But also, I seem to attract wasps and bees. They're always coming after me. Even when I'm mowing the lawn. Bees follow me about, don't they, Mrs. W?
They do.
To the point, I stop mowing and start running. And this has got so bad that my eldest daughter, she's exactly the same. Sorry, Abby. And then over the next 5 to 6 months, to finish doing what it needs to do. Do you want to come and look in here?
Yeah.
So inside,
Oh, there's a lot of bees.
oh yes, they're
Oh.
loving life.
Oh. Oh dear, what are they doing in there?
What's they like the warmth?
I think we might. That's the worst thing you can do. Let me
You could also make the bits of brown smaller so that you'll be able to get finer compost. But that's not what I'm looking for. Very often when we're filming, I can make mistakes. We do have a rough script that we try to stick to. But, you know, these days my memory is not that good. I'll often say June instead of July. These things happen. And I could fill a whole 1 hour video slot of all the times that I've done that. But also, there are times when other things interfere with our filming. There is nothing worse when you've been filming a fantastic segment and you think, yeah, this has gone really well. Only for the last 30 seconds, you hear the drone of an aeroplane or a helicopter flying over above. And as we go into October, we're actually going to put a video out there on how to cure those and how to prepare them. I'm a bit on the clumsy side. often walking into things, quite often dropping things, certainly standing on things, only for Mrs. W to tell me, you're standing on the seedlings, Barry. We're also going to be putting in some kale. This is a curly kale. This hasn't been snipped, there's still 3 in here, isn't there?
Is there? Is there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Where are the scissors? Oh dear. Yes, 3 plants in there.
Actually, I never noticed.
So we've been and these are a variety called Broody. Are they Broody? Mm-hmm. Yes. And these are a variety called Broody. For now, let's get these into the ground. And you can see they got a lovely... Oh, forget that one. That's a shame that fell apart like that, but there you go. Let's try this. There's another one here. And actually, I'm going to take this one off the stalk. And you can see we've got a nice little secondary harvest there. This was almost broken. It may have been that I've stood on it at some point as I was coming through here and taking some leaves off. But back and look at our playlist, because we had potatoes in here, our first earlies, and you can see that bindweed was coming through. Now, of course, it was unbeknown to us because this was just a grass strip, and I mowed it every week, so it's probably being killed off. But now that we know that problem is here, I've decided this season that what I'm going to do is to put some, never leave a rake there. That's one for the outtakes. Now, the lovely Mrs. W has many, many good virtues.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm extremely lucky to have her.
Oh, thank you.
When she laughs, we all laugh with her. Indeed, it's often been said in the village that when she laughs at number 1, she can be heard at number 12.
I don't know what you mean.
But as much as we all love her laughter, there are times when it does rather get in the way of the filming. And as you'll see shortly, when she loses it, she really loses it.
Okay, so now that the pasta sauce has cooled enough, it's still quite warm, but it's definitely cool enough for me to blend it up a little bit. So let me just take that. And just with my stick blender, I'm just going to whiz it up. The giggles. Okay, I'm going to try again. Shush. And then we can stop.
I'm sure there'll be more next year in 2024. that we can release this time next year. We really hope you have the best of Christmases. And there shan't be a video this weekend, that's why this one has come out on the Friday, because it's Christmas Eve on the Sunday when we would normally release a video. But we shall be back with a Christmas special the following Thursday. And then that weekend that follows that, which is New Year's Eve, there won't be any video that evening either. And then myself and Mrs. W are going to take a week off, and then we shall be back to tell you all about the exciting things that are going to be happening for 2024, and also what's going to be the grow along.
Yes, yes. All exciting things.
So that's the second weekend of January. I will let you all know in the community tab exactly when that video will be coming out. But do look out for our video for, well, a week today, really. That only leaves myself and Mrs. W to wish you all Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!